Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, morning.
What's going on, man? How's everything?
Man, not bad, man. Just up and at it as usual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've been enjoying your content. I'm cracking up.
Man, trying to get them customers in.
That's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh, man, that's wonderful.
It's like we
Good
finna have
morning.
a it's like we finna have a late winter here. It's like now it's wanting to get cold. I wonder if we're gonna get snow in February and March.
You don't normally?
Nah, usually we get it like, November, December. We've occasionally had a little bit of snow, and usually like Martin Luther King Day parade is usually cold, but it was weird. We've been having like 7 days in the 70s, and then it's weird.
Wow.
It'll be a week in the 70s, and then like I think right now it may be like 50 something, but it's so weird, man. So weird.
Wow.
It's like our
We're,
winters are getting later and later.
we're supposed to get snow tomorrow, I think.
Oh,
Really?
And
really?
we don't normally get snow either. I live in Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, to be exact.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're anticipating snow tomorrow.
Wow.
I got a leaky faucet over here. I'm over here purging all the fog that we had this week that supposedly was bad. So I'm not I'm not mad at my body for doing what it needs to do.
Yeah. Hey, good morning.
It's
Good
what you
morning.
think.
Uh, yes, Jacor LLC. Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Oh, man, that's funny. Yes, yes. Okay. Mhm. Everybody's having a good week?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I just seen online Bill O'Donohue passed away. Just
Who?
passed.
Who?
Bill O'Donohue.
Who's that? Bill O'Donnell.
What they call him?
Meeting what?
You remember the old boy you sent me, Bill?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You remember old boy you sent me on YouTube, Bill?
Oh, yes, Bill Donahue.
Yeah, yep,
Oh,
yep,
did he?
yep.
The one he had a talk show?
No. No, I know. No, no, not
Oh,
that dude. No, no,
okay.
I know what you're talking about, Marlon. Yeah,
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna go back
yeah,
to my Puerto Rican ways.
yeah,
Look, I know who you were thinking of, Vero. I know who you were thinking of. I have no idea who they're talking about.
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
We're right.
wow.
We're in the Caribbean.
Wow. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Alien.
Yes, good morning. Happy Saturday.
Morning.
How you doing? How was your week?
Good, really good.
Awesome.
How about you guys?
Good.
Wonderful. I finished my challenge this week. And
Good.
I'm getting ready probably to do it again, like maybe March. We'll see. March, April. Give us some more
Excellent.
time to mark it again. But yeah, it was good. It was busy, but it was good.
I had a good week on purpose. My stepsister, she did transition, her and her daughter, um, Wednesday night, I want to say. But overall, and my son lost his dog yesterday. So it's been a lot going on, but overall, it's still been good and just sitting in my feelings, trying to understand how how to feel about the situation. But overall, I've been in a good mood. Just wanting to be there for like my family and stuff like that, and just it's been good. It's been
My
good.
condolences.
Yes, definitely. My condolences as well. As well. I think you said I think you said a very powerful thing, an important thing, that you are deciding your feelings. There's nothing wrong with any of them. They're all yours, right? So you can use any of them that you want, but just knowing that you can decide, just knowing that you don't have to be anything. happy, sad, mad, glad. You don't have to be in, meaning involuntarily. You don't have to be anything. That you realize in this moment that you can choose how you want to feel. And as long as you choose, it's appropriate. It's what you choose doesn't matter as long as you chose, as long as you choose. That's the power. The power is just knowing that you can choose, that you have a say in how you feel in any circumstance, in any situation. What you choose after that is just your power expressed. But so many of us feel unempowered or disempowered in situations, and we just feel like we involuntarily have to react, right? And that is that is not the highest form of truth. So you operating in the highest form of truth, especially when it gets real, it lets you it is a testament to your um, to your conscious psychological, your conscious maturity. It lets you know that you are in a place where you can still be who you want to be at any moment of time just by choosing, right? And that's not always easy to do, but that's super cool. Super cool. Much respect for that. And that's easier said than done. And that's not even the truth either. But in practice for most people, it's easier said than done. And to be able to basically, get to the point where you're Bruce Leroy and you're like, I'm the master. That takes some time, right? Of and on purpose as far as to really remember who we are. And now you're at that point, obviously. So that's super cool. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. It's 7 over here, 9, 10 for most of you guys are. So we getting it started on time like we do every time. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys today about a couple things that I just want to get out and get off, and then I will leave it. Then I'll leave us some time to be able to whether we want to call it question or answer, as I probably need to do those maybe a little bit more because I know there's always so much information passed. And the most important thing here to me is that we learn. Um, and learning requires participation, not necessarily every time or, but all the time, meaning um, that you're paying attention, that you're asking what you need to ask, that you're involved because a lot of us are learning. A lot of us have grown up learning a certain way. And from my experience, I realize a lot of us haven't learned well. We haven't learned how to learn. A lot of times we just come in, we sit down, somebody speaks to us, talks at us, we take what we can get and we move on. But we don't ever get a chance to really ask follow-up questions. We don't really get a chance to participate in our own learning, which takes the information from renting it, meaning getting it from someone else for a certain amount of time, to actually being able to take it and own it, absorb it in a way where we can own it and have the knowledge and awareness to be able to use it ourselves, right? So that requires our participation, that requires our involvement, right? So I'm going to talk to you about a couple things, and then we'll have a little time to kind of reflect on it, discuss it, whatever else it is. All right. So in no particular order, keep your eye on the prize. Let's just make it a simple example, like when we're leaving our house, to go to the grocery store, we're just going to the store, and say you leave your house with an end in mind. Along the way, you have, depending on how far it is, let's just say it's a mile away from your house. So you can run into traffic, you can run into detours, you see people cross the street. There's a whole lot of things going on in between from where you started to your end. And depending on what those are, you make adjustments. You speed up, you slow down, you go around, you wait patiently. Sometimes it's just a smooth, straight shot. Maybe you're out early in the morning and it's all green lights and there's no one out, right? But no matter what, where you started is where you start, and your end, your desired end, is where you're going. And sometimes there's a whole bunch in the way, sometimes there isn't. But keeping your eye on the prize means, okay, I know where I'm going, I know where I'm starting, and I know where I want to end up. And that is where I'm going to end up. Whether I get there quickly, whether I get there eventually, whether there's a bunch of people in the way, there's no people in the way, detours, potholes, weather, traffic, whatever all those things are. Point being, it is the same thing. That grocery store represents your desire. what what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve. And what happens is we have to have the ability to say, okay, I know my desire is here, and I'm driving to where I'm going to the store. But when I turn my car right because something is in the way, or when I'm parked, and I'm just stopped because the light is red, whatever else it is, I don't let my physical experience take my mind off of the end, of that I'm going to the store. I don't let my, okay, I'm turning right mean I'm not going to the store. Or, oh, I'm stopped at this light for 10 minutes or 5 minutes because there's a lot of traffic. I don't let that change me from going to the store. Meaning I don't let my physical experience take my awareness off of the end goal, right? So I have a business, and right now it's I have a business, and I tell myself, I have a successful business. That's my desire. That's my end goal, a successful business. So when I open up the store, or whether I look online and there's no one in the store or no one online, I don't let that physical experience change my consciousness, change me from what I'm telling myself. I don't let that physical thing stop me from saying I'm this thing, or I'm going to the store. I don't let the physical take my mind away from the physical experience I'm having or not having, change my mind from the end goal, that I'm going to get there, that it's already so, that it's true because of what I decided to be. And a lot of times, what we're experiencing or not experiencing makes us change our mind. Oh, because I'm turning right, I'm not going to the store anymore. No, it just means I'm taking a detour because this way is crowded, or because there's a pothole in the street, or there's construction, or I know a better way, but it doesn't change where I'm going. It doesn't change my desired or stated end, unless or until I explicitly change the end. If I'm not going to the store anymore, then that's fine. Then I don't have to keep that in. Now I'm going to go to the park, or now I'm going to go to the bank. That's fine. But unless you explicitly change your end, you don't let your experience change your end. Meaning, you don't, just because you're turning right doesn't mean that you can't go to the store. You just have to go a different way, right? But keeping your eye on the prize, because from the journey from leaving your house, so to speak, to your desired end, there's things that happen. But those things are not reflections of you not being able to get there. They're just they're actually the opposite. They are reflections of that you're going there. You would never be on the street if you weren't going there. You'd never see this pothole if you weren't going there. You'd never see this construction if you weren't going there. So they're not expressions of failure. They're not expressions of I won't make it. They're actually the opposite. But we see those things based on we see how we see things are based on what we're telling ourselves and what we're believing to be true along the way. If we don't really believe that desire, we don't really think we can make it, we don't really think it's going to work out, we don't really think it's going to be that way, then we look at everything as just proof of that truth. That we're telling ourselves, well, maybe it is too hard, maybe people are right, maybe I'm not going to make it, maybe I won't get there, maybe it's going to take longer, whatever else it is. Then we take everything as truth of that proof. So we're like, oh wow, so well, it looks like this, so maybe I won't, but no, if you know you're going to the grocery store, you may have to go a different direction than you anticipated because you didn't know it was a pothole, or you didn't know there was construction, or you realize, wow, there's an accident, or you realize, wow, whatever it may, or wow, there's just traffic. Fine, you can go another way if you're aware of one. But no matter whether you go directly there or whether you go around, the point is to keep the end, your desire, fixed and firm. This is the truth for me. This is what's happening for me. This is what's so. I can do a bunch of different physical maneuvering to get there, some anticipated, some unanticipated, but I don't need to change my desired end as a result of what's happening on the way, right? And in order to actually reach your goal, to actually experience what you desire, you have to be able to understand that everything, you can take what's going on to you as proof of it not being true or as proof of it being true. You have to make that choice. right? That is the most powerful thing you have in this human experience is choice. And the most disempowering feeling is the feeling of not having a choice. The most powerful feeling is feeling like you can choose or being aware of having a choice. The most disempowering feeling is feeling like you don't or being unaware that you do have a choice. So when you set, let's just say, a goal, a desire to be something, right? Then it's like, okay, that's my thing. Now everything, so I'm going to tell myself that everything I go through is proof that I am what I desire to be. That I am what I say, right? And it may not look like it may not feel like it, but that is our own human limited mind saying what it thinks to be true based on what it knows and what it doesn't know. Your human mind will tell you something that it doesn't even know, in the sense of it'll tell you that this is your only option, but it doesn't know that there are 50 other options that it's just unaware of, so it thinks it doesn't exist, right? But if any time is if you spend any time in what we've talked about and you have quote unquote manifested, you have brought something into your physical experience that was just an idea at first, and it came to you in ways that you would not have originally anticipated or thought or would have planned yourself, then you realize that your human mind doesn't know as much as we think it does and as we give it credit for. It doesn't know what's coming around the corner. It didn't know COVID was coming, in 2019. It didn't know COVID was coming in 2020. So there's so many things our human mind doesn't know, but we give it credit for. We act like it knows everything. And when we say we want something and we can't figure out a way for that to happen, we think that it can't happen, right? But we don't realize that kind of another little thing that I'll put in, kind of weave into this thing, is that we don't realize that when you have a desire, the reason we don't reach most of our desires is because as soon as we have a desire, the first question we ask ourselves is how. And if the first question we ask ourselves is how, and we don't have an answer for that first question, how much further past that do we go? Do most of us go? Right? We don't really go far enough, because as soon as we feel like we don't know how, then we feel like it's impossible. If I don't have an answer, then it's impossible, or it's not true, or it's unrealistic, or it's irrational. But that's not the case. But the reason we don't, you will never see the how until you accept the thing. Meaning, you will never know that an acorn can be a tree until you plant it. But you don't know how an acorn turns into a tree. But you'll never see that it can until you plant the acorn. You can't hold the acorn in your hand and then say, where's the tree? Prove to me that the tree is going to come. Well, you can't do that. You have the acorn in your hand, and the acorn in your hand is not in a place where it can germinate, where it can prove that to be true to you. So the mechanism, the how, unfolds when you put the acorn in the right environment. The desire is your acorn, and when you put your desire in your mind by identifying yourself as that thing, you've now put the desire, the idea, you've now put it into a place where it can germinate. It can show you the how. So the how is wrapped up in the desire. You won't see the how until you plant the desire, and the how that's inside of the desire will open up from the inside out. The desire is the acorn, the tree is the outcome, and the how is the trigger to get the acorn into the tree, or the acorn to become a tree. So the how is wrapped up in the desire, and the how will be shown to you. It's the mechanism to get the desire into your hand, into physical expression. So if you're unwilling to say, I want this thing, and to identify yourself as that thing, whatever it is, the how will never come to you until you accept that's actually you. Because the how you do something is only known to the person who does it. It's not known to the person who doesn't. And until you accept yourself as the person who has what they want, you will never get the how, because you're the person who doesn't have it. You're the person who's not that. It'd be like trying to get access to someone's bank account as yourself. You can't do that just because you know them, just because they may be your family member, the closest one, but that's still not you. So there's a difference between being and not being. And when we desire to be something that we currently aren't experiencing, the only thing that the idea is the thing that gets you to start being willing to identify yourself as something else, as this next thing. But if you're unwilling to do that because you don't know how, The how is not available to someone who is not it. The how only unfolds itself after the acceptance, and as a means to get you to this thing that you now are being, because you've accepted, I am this thing. And because I am this thing, the how now unfolds itself. The how is wrapped up in the desire. So when we're going to the grocery store, that's our desire. When we're deciding that that's the truth for us, then all the things that happen, physical things that happen along the way, we have to learn how to take as proof of that being true, not as proof of it not. Right? So that is something we have to get a better understanding of, a more clear understanding of, right? All right, I do see that. I do see that thing, Veronica, if you want to.
In the chat. And by the way, if you click on view on the top right and click gallery, so then you could see everyone. And because I know I have you spotlighted, then you can do that as well. Did you see it? Okay. In the chat, it says, how do we know if it's our desire or God's goal?
That's wonderful question. That depends on if you know who you are. If you know who you are, you know they're one and the same. Because I am produced a physical body to actually be able to do the things that it desires physically. And physically, we are representations of God, of I am, of consciousness, of awareness. So we are inextricably linked. There's only when we came into physical form, in order to believe that we were really human, having a human experience, we wiped our memory of who we really are. But we knew that we would remember in time, right? That's what all this is. We are just remembering who we are. So our desires are designed to get us to express a different aspect of ourselves, because we already are everything we are ever going to be. We are just but we're not experiencing everything we're going to be. We're not experiencing it all at once. We're experiencing it based on what we are telling ourselves to be true, how we're identifying ourselves. That is what part of ourself we're experiencing. But all of our self to experience is here right now. But we're only experiencing what we're aware of. So when we go from 12 years old to 13 years old, we're in the same body. It's just as our awareness increases, which we call age or time, as things go on, so to speak, the more our awareness increases, the more of what we already are starts to open up and express itself. So it's not a difference of ability. It's only an increase in awareness. We express more of the ability we possess. So the ideas that we have are basically, what is an idea? An idea is an awareness of something that actually already exists, that we just haven't experienced it yet. It is a memory of something that already exists, because an idea, we can see it clearly. How can we have an idea clearly that we can see, that we can convey, we can articulate and see it so clearly, if it doesn't already exist? And how can we do that if we don't know it? Well, we do know it, and really what we're doing is just remembering it. An idea is almost like something that you have ready for a certain time that you're going to act on it. Almost like writing out a shopping list. You're at home, you write out a shopping list. You can't buy anything in your house, but you take that shopping list with you, because what you want to get before you leave, you're writing down right now, so that when you get there, you can pull this list out and say, oh yeah, these are the things I wanted for myself before I got here. Same thing. These are ideas. These are the things that I wanted for myself before I became Leanne, or before I became myself in physical form. These are things I wanted for myself. So the ideas are just the remembrances of things that I wanted for myself before I got to this place called humanity, or I got to the grocery store. Right? So when we realize who we are, that we are I am in physical form, right? Then we realize our ideas are just nothing but reminders of things that we wanted, right? That to do or be or have before we expressed ourselves physically in form, right? But they are ours, right? They are. That's why they come from within us. That's why they're our desires and not someone else's necessarily, or things like that, right? So just that answered your question. If you have another one, definitely feel free. Um, so saying all that to say that keeping our eye on the prize. What is it you want to do or be or have, right? There we are living in a physical world, and things happen. Rain happens, snow happens, sleet happens, things happen, right? And but those are not reflections of your inability. That's just a reflection of the fact that you're alive in physical form. You're in the physical world, but it doesn't mean that you have to, or you need to, or that you should take your eye off your prize, off the thing that you chose to be, because you could not be aware of that thing or want that thing if you were not capable of physically expressing that thing, because that thing already exists. It just doesn't exist in physical form that you can see. But that's because until you become the person who has it or who is it, you'll never see it. It's not, I'll believe it when I see it. It's, I'll see it when I believe it, because consciousness always precedes physical expression, just like an idea always precedes physical form, right? Everything that we see in physical form was first an idea. First, doesn't matter what it is, it was first an idea. So this isn't like positive thinking. This isn't that. This is understanding how thinking works, right? And every physical thing that we see, every physical expression is only the physical expression of a thought. It's only the matter that consciousness produces. So consciousness is one side of the stick, let's say. Consciousness is one side and matter is the other, right? They're two sides, the end of the same, right? So consciousness, matter, consciousness, right? So consciousness produces matter, matter rolls back up into consciousness when it exists, when something dies. It goes back from physical expression to just consciousness, to just awareness, and awareness creates all physical expression. So you're looking consciousness, matter finishes, rolls right into back into the unseen. So the unseen always creates the scene. Once the scene is done, the scene rolls back into the unseen, right? Just like that, right? That's how all of this, anything, works in physical expression. The physical expression is the physical expression of the idea, right? Yes.
So, good morning. I just have a question. Like, I just really don't understand. What if our goal was changed for a reason and we're trying to stay on a wrong path because of our desire? Like, how would we know, like, the difference, you know?
Okay, give me an example.
Like, um, like just like if we're trying to like say we're trying to go somewhere, right? And then it's a whole storm and it's like it's something happening and we like, no, I can still persist. I can still just get there. And then we get there and then it end up being a shooting at the store. And it'd be like, dag, this is why I shouldn't have went. Like it was signs that foreshadowed it. You know what I'm saying? Like what if it's a foreshadow?
Mm-hmm. Okay, great question. So I don't want to say. There is you don't have there are two different types of thought, right? So you have a desire to go somewhere, like you said, and you want to go there, but then you, like you said, you can feel there's a different aspect of you that's saying, don't do that today, don't go there today, right? So you do have a desire, but you realizing the desire is not today. Yes, I do have that, but today is not the best day to do that, right? And so it is understanding that two things can be true. Yes, I have a desire and I'd really like to go, but but my awareness is saying, don't do that today, right? There's your humanity, which is always ready to do whatever you want it to do, right? But then there's also your divinity, your higher mind that's saying, yeah, but today is not the best day to do that. And when as you continue to know yourself, you'll know when you're trying to force something just because you want it. And you feel like you just have to have it today. And you realize there's another part of it that says, yeah, you want it, and yet, but does you don't feel like it. You feel like, but today is not the best day to do that. And you have to be able to listen to yourself to say, yeah, I want that thing, and yeah, that thing's important to me, and I haven't changed my mind, but I do realize that today is not the best day for that, right? Whether it's like, oh man, my leg is really hurting. Maybe I probably shouldn't go to the gym today. I really want to go, but maybe it's better for me to give it a rest. Two things can be true. And so that's where wisdom and discernment comes in, which is a natural capacity and functionality that you have, right? Which is say, yes, I really want to do something, but today is not the best day to do it. And still trusting yourself to say, hey, I'm not getting rid of my desire, but I also realize I don't have to sacrifice my health for my desire. Or to your point, my safety for my desire. I don't have to do that, right? It's because otherwise your desire is not going to be, it's not going to help you anyway if you're dead. It's not going to help you anyway if you're walking around the gym and you barely can walk around the gym. You're not going to be able to work out, right? It's not, so it is, humanity believes there has to be a sacrifice or a trade-off, one thing for another. Divinity doesn't believe that. God doesn't believe that. I am doesn't believe that. I want it, there's dark and let there be light. So we have nighttime and daytime. We don't have one or the other. We don't have to sacrifice our health for our business or our business for our health. We don't have to sacrifice our friendship for our morals or our ethics, things that we feel are important to us. We don't have to make trade-offs that way. Humanity does, because humanity doesn't create. Humanity is not in charge. Humanity is what you see, but humanity is being governed by divinity, by consciousness, what we believe ourselves to be. Our body is only the thing we're using to execute those beliefs and those thoughts, right? So so two things can be true. I still want to go to the grocery store, but to your point, if I look out and the roads are flooded, then it's like, well, that's probably not yeah, I still want to go, but that's not the best thing for me to do today. That's not wise for me to do. So I'm not going to do that. I still want to go, but I'm not going to do that. Right. I don't have to put myself in jeopardy to experience my desire, because my awareness would not put itself in jeopardy to do that. It doesn't need to do that. It wouldn't do that. You don't have to put yourself out in jeopardy where you're going to be harmed or hurt for your desire to be true, because otherwise you wouldn't be living the desire anyway. Even if you got it, you'd be so messed up you couldn't enjoy it, or you may not even get it at all, putting yourself in certain situations, right? So understanding that God is a God of the living, not the dead. So you pushing your desire to death is not, that is not how that works, right? So it's almost like you have to know what a person says, and you also have to know what they mean by what they say, right? So we know what our desire is saying, but we also have the wisdom to say, oh, okay, well, this is what I want. I'm telling myself this to be true. So my awareness then moves me to my desire, right? Not only to achieve it, but to achieve it fully functioning. Because taking less of me, cutting something out of me, is not achieving the desire, because I had to give up something that I may need for something else later on, right? So it's almost like going to the grocery store. You're not going to overspend your budget, because then that's going to affect you for something else, and you're just transferring suffering from one thing to another. And our awareness, I am, doesn't do that. When we have a desire, all we have to do is accept the desire, like, okay, that's me. So I'm going to continue to believe that's me. Now, I'm not physically trying to make that work that way. I'm just accepting that I am that, and I let my awareness guide me to the most effective and efficient way to express that which I'm aware of being. Humanity always looks for an action plan, but if we had all the plans, we'd never pray in the first place. Because we'd already have all the answers. Our human brain doesn't have all the answers. It knows what it wants and what it would like, but it doesn't always know how to get there. Our awareness always knows how to get there. And it takes the most effective and efficient way, because it doesn't suffer, because it's omniscient. It knows everything. So it's not going to go down the wrong road. It's not going to lead to a dead end. It's not going to have us going off a cliff. We don't have to be harmed to get what we want. That's just a belief that humanity feels like we have to suffer, we have to grind, we have to hustle, we have to earn. We have this belief of earning. We have to earn, we have to work hard, we have to do all these other things, where I am doesn't do that. It says, well, my yoke is easy and my burden is light, right? It takes the most effective and efficient way, because it's omniscient. It already knows. So it doesn't need to put itself at risk or at jeopardy. and stuff like that, right? So you use your awareness. Okay, because what you know today, what you don't know today, you may know tomorrow. So it is about saying, okay, if I want to go to the grocery store, okay, cool. That's something I'm telling myself is true, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm going to the grocery store, but going to the grocery store may not be today. It may be tomorrow. It may be, but it is your awareness that will guide you right down the path. Your paths are directed. Your footsteps are guided, right, according to that, right, the God of the living, not the dead. So you don't go out somewhere and get yourself messed up or hurt and harmed. Even if you got what you wanted, it wouldn't do you any good, right? So point is, we don't have to trade or sacrifice one for the other, right? And then you're always going to be guided in the best way for you, because you have to be standing at the end, right? So great question. All right. So that is, keeping your eye on the prize, right? Next one. We always talk about wanting to do things for other people, wanting other people to get it, wanting people to be this, wanting people to be that, wanting people to be or not be, or whatever else that is, right? Our desire for others. In order to achieve a desire for an other, you have to achieve that desire within yourself first. What does that mean? It means, for those of us who have kids, we want our kids to be 1,000 things, right? That are all good. We want them to be 1,000 things. But why do we want them to be that? Well, we're saying, yeah, because we want them to be. We want this for them. Yeah, but the only reason we want it for them is because we want it for us. So we have to start with us first. You have to start with ourselves first. It's like, I want my daughter to be X, Y, and Z because of how that's going to make me feel when she is X, Y, and Z. If she is a good student, if she is a good person, that makes me feel a certain way. Yes, what I want from her, ultimately she will benefit from, but it's not about her. This is about me. This is about what I want to see from something or someone because of how it makes me feel. When I start involving other people, even if it benefits them, when I start involving them in what I want to see, then now I lose control, because now I have to start trying to control something outside of myself. Now I have to start saying, well, did they get up on time? Did they do this on time? Are they here on time? Are they there on time? Because I'm now having to try to figure out how to manipulate them to start moving in the ways that I want them to see. But I don't know how they woke up this morning. I don't know if they have a headache. I don't know if their foot hurts. I don't know if they didn't do their homework, or if they did. I don't know everything all the time. And trying to constantly juggle that ball of another person's being and feelings and this or that now takes my power away from me, because now I'm having to try to dictate to them, govern them, guide them. I'm having to do all these things because I think I have to make them be what I want them to be, right? When that's not actually in fact. In fact, they will be what I want them to be, but that's because of what I want to see for me in my world. I want my daughter to be these things. So I may tell her to do her homework. I may tell her to do this or that or the other. But how do I get her to actually be that in my experience? Well, I am choosing to tell myself that my child is this, and that. Whether I ever tell her what I think doesn't matter, because in my world, only what I think matters. That's why it says, according to your faith, be it unto you. Right? That's why it says, you shall declare and decree a thing and it will come to pass. That's why it says, your word doesn't come back to you void, but accomplishes all your good pleasure and prospers unto the place whereunto you sent it. This is about you. So what you think you're helping other people with, as far as they may benefit, or you want something for someone, or you don't want something for someone anymore, all of those things they may benefit from, for lack of better words, but they're always about you. You want those things because of how those things make you feel. You want those things because of how they make you feel, or how they stop you from feeling, right? It's about you. And once you come to the settlement within yourself that this is what I want to see in my life with this person, it's like saying you're picking a person almost like you're picking a car. You don't have to talk to the car. You say, this is the type of car I want, so I'm going to this dealership. This is the color I want. This is the car I want. These are the things I want. So I'm now going to go to that place where that exists. This is the type of person I want to see in this area of my life, as a daughter, as a husband, or as a wife, or as a friend. I am now going to pick, in my world, this is the type of friend I want to have, just like this is the type of car I want to have. This is the type of child I want to have. This is the type of spouse I want to have. This is the type of job or business or health. I am picking from my own awareness of being what I want my experience with this thing to be, because this is about me and my world. This is what I want to see. Other people may not want to be what you want them to be, but they have a right to be what they want to be in their own life. But even though we're experiencing each other, we're all individually still living our own lives. So what I think of someone, that is what my experience is going to be with them. What they think of me is going to be their experience with me, but we're both living our own individual worlds parallel. They're parallel. So what I think of someone, I could think they're the worst person in the world. They could turn around in their world, they could think I'm the best person in the world. And we're both going to experience what we're thinking. Right. And so I don't know what someone else is experiencing any more than I can look through their eyes, because I'm not in them. So their world, literally what they're seeing is what they're seeing. What I'm seeing is what I'm seeing. We're both aware that that we've created another thing called a brother or a sister, but we're still having our own parallel lives. So that's why our families don't stop us from being rich or don't stop us from being broke. Well, some of us are rich in our family, some of us are broke. There are people it doesn't matter how close you are, it never takes away your ability to live your own life when we say you're the creator of your reality. That is always true. No matter how close to someone you are, you still are the creator of your own reality. So you still have the autonomy and the ability and the power and the authority to choose how you want this experience to go. We lose sight of that, and we lose the ability to have that experience when we say, well, just because I want something for someone or I don't want something for someone, that now I have to start talking to them about it, so to speak, or I have to start trying to make them do it. No, the first thing you do, your true power, is understanding that my life, my world is my world. So I can see anything or anyone in it as I choose. Therefore, that is going to be my experience. I'm not actually changing them for them being who they want to be. I am choosing the version of them that matches who I want to be or who I want to see. Right? So we lose that when we start trying to control we start trying to do that physically. And I'm telling you, that physical act of changing somebody is not actually physical, it's consciousness. You change somebody by changing what you want to see in a person. That starts here. All things start here. The physical expressions are just the outcomes. You can't change the outcome. You can only change the creation, right? If you don't change the creation, the outcome will remain or come right back, because you're not changing the thing that creates it. You keep recreating it. So it's almost like that's why we take the trash out every day, because we keep doing things that cause trash, that make trash, right? If we didn't cause things that make trash, we'd never have to take it out. Or if we took it out yesterday, if we didn't cause things that made trash today, we wouldn't have to take it out again today, right? So we keep going through things that we keep creating. So when we want to do something for someone else, the place you do that is here. And you tell yourself, okay, what do I want to see? What do I want to see in my world from this person? Right? And okay, so now I'm going to tell myself this person in my world is like this. I don't even, it's most of the time better that if you want to say something to them like, hey, I want you to start taking out the trash. If you want to say physical things to them, that's fine. But if you have somebody in your house that won't ever take out the trash and you know they're supposed to, right? You start telling yourself, oh, this person now, this person now takes out the trash. They always take out the trash. Now, I may say something to them physically, hey, remember to take out the trash, but whether they do or they don't, my mind is on the prize. I'm now telling myself that this is the way this person is. I'm not trying to figure out how to make that work. I am now just going to start telling myself that this is the way I choose to see this person, because in my world, I'm the creator of my reality. So what am I creating? I'm creating by selecting. Well, what am I selecting? I'm selecting the version of this person that does this, because we are all of us individually have infinite versions of ourselves, just like we were once 8, 10, 12, 14, 19. All of us were those things. So all of those things exist within us, but we're only seeing the current expression of all things that exist. We're only the age we are right now, not the age we'll be next year or the age we were last year. But the age we were last year was us, the age we are this year is us, and the age we will be next year is us. All those things exist within us. So every aspect of a person, the one that takes out the trash exists, and the one that doesn't exists. So, and when you create your own reality, how you do that is you select the person, the aspects of a person that you want to see in that person. That thing exists. That being exists. You're just only experiencing the one based on who you are, because this is your life. This is your reality. This is your physical expression based on who you are here. So when you change who you are here and you say, okay, I'm changing that, I want to see this thing like that now. That thing that thing didn't say I want to change. But in your reality, everything has to change in your world. But it's always going according to how you see it. And how you see it is based on who you are, how you see yourself, what you think is possible or impossible for you. So when you want to help someone or fix someone or change something or see something different, you have that right in your world. But the right in your world is not it's not the physical expression, it's consciousness. The right, the creation is here. It's not here. It's expressed here. It's here though. So when you want to change what you see here, the first thing you change is here. And you start telling yourself, okay, I want to see this. So it's not that person that you're changing. It is you're getting a different version of that person because all versions exist. You don't change Florida. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, for whatever reason, you move to a state that already expresses that thing that you do like. You may like snow. Florida's not going to work for you. You may not want sunshine all year round pretty much. Florida's not going to work for you. California is generally not going to work for you. If you want to have more extreme seasons, those things don't really exist there. So you go to the place where it exists. You go to the aspect of a person that exists. That aspect of the person exists because you can describe what you would like to see. And so now you tell yourself, okay, this thing is like this now. Whether it's a person or a circumstance or a thing, you start telling yourself, this is how it is. You're selecting from all the options that already exist. You're not actually changing anything. You're just changing just means you're choosing something different. Everything exists as it is. It doesn't change. It exists as it is. So you pick the thing that you want as it is because you need that thing. You need the thing that doesn't work to be available when you're not working. When you're not working, you need a thing that represents that. All physical things laid out down here are the physical things for all the things that are laid up here. So when you're over here, you're going to see this thing. When you're over here, you're going to see these things. All these things are the physical things that when your idea, right, is here, right, but depending on where you are, you now need a physical example of that, a physical expression of that. So if you want something over here, then you have to move your mind to the thing that's over here because all these things don't change, but they are perfect as they are. You pick the one that's perfect as you want it to be, as you choose it to be. But that's up here. Calling them on the phone, giving them a piece of your mind, cursing them out, bribing them, yelling, begging, crying, whining. All those things don't work at all, or they don't work, or they only work temporarily. They'll be right back. Because until you change your mind here, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stay. Because when you are the creator of reality, it sounds good. That sounds powerful. It sounds exciting. It sounds scary. It sounds a little bit of everything. But the reality of that statement is all creation is finished. The creator of your reality, your experience, you are the creator of your experience. You are reality itself. So then, as you're thinking, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, right? As a mind believes itself to be, so goes the physical experience. So when you want to change your reality, you are reality. That means you have to change yourself. You have to change what you are telling yourself about something, what you are assuming and accepting and allowing to be true about something. You have to change it to what you want to experience. You have to move to where that physical experience exists. They're all within you, but you're just accessing a different part of, oh, okay, I'm choosing to tell myself it's this way now. So now when it's this way, I now describe things as this, right? That is, if you want to help someone, that is how you do it. You're just like, okay, I choose to see this person like this. That has nothing to do, they may benefit from that, but really the person that's benefiting the most is me because this is what I want to see. This is the experience I want to have. This is the relationship I want to have. And so when I become the person who has it by identifying myself as the person that's having this experience, then I can have that thing. Then I'm now accessing the version of that already exists. And it's perfect. It's never known itself to be that. It's never known itself to be anything but what it is. When someone is born wealthy, they've never known themselves to be poor. So they don't really know what that's like. We tell people all the time, well, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. That's true. They don't know what it's like. So when you decide that you are now this or that this thing is like that, it's never known itself to be anything like that. You're accessing the part of that thing that's never known itself to be anything but what you're accessing. You don't change anything. You're just accessing everything as they are. So when we say change, it just means we're changing our mind. We're making a different selection. And then that is what you would call change, but it's really just a selecting a new version of something, a new aspect of something, a new way I'm going to see something. So now I'm going to get access to what I'm choosing, right? By telling myself, I want to see this. Okay, I'm going to access the version of this that exists, because reality is finished. Everything exists right now. Everything you could ever want to do, be, or have exists right now. Everything that you will ever do or be or have exists within you right now. But you're only experiencing the aspects of that that you are aware of being. That's what you're pulling out, is your choice by what you're aware of being. You're making selections from all that exists within you as you, right? So if you want to help someone, if you want someone to be this or be that, physically going to do that is you're just fighting against, you're just fighting gravity, right? You're fighting swimming upstream, right? When what you want, you want. So if you want something, you become the thing you want. You have the idea, and then you have you. You have to become the idea. You have to become one with the idea. You now identify yourself as the idea, as the outcome of that idea. Now the two have become one flesh. People think they're talking about physical marriage. They're not. They're talking about consciousness. They're talking about the thought and the awareness of the thought. The thought is personified as a man. The awareness of that thought is personified as the woman, the two becoming one flesh in the eyes of the Lord, in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of awareness. Oh, you have an idea? I'm rich. You have you? Now, like, I am rich. Rich, you. I am rich. Now the law sees you as one, and now you're blessed as one. God sees you as one. It blesses the union, right? It agrees with the union of whatever idea you have embodied yourself or you have identified yourself as. That is the expression. The child comes as a result of that. The expression of male, female comes and produces an experience, right? So, that questions on that before I move on.
I have a question.
Sure.
So on Tuesday, when I have a staff member who just, her work ethic is her own work ethic outside of the talking to and things of that nature. So when I'm saying I want to experience Samaya in this way, am I focusing on my experience with Samaya, or am I focused on the type of staff that I want in my space?
Either
You know
or.
what I mean? Is that two different things?
Yeah, those are two different things. You can say because one is more of a blanket statement, one is more of a specific statement. So like when people make blanket affirmations, everything is always working out for me. Everything means everything, but you're not talking about any specific thing, but you're talking about everything. So it still involves all the specificities or the specifics, right? But you're making a general blanket statement because it's sometimes, a lot of times it's easier to do that because then you're not so focused on one thing that your mind gets all twisted up about it and you get all intense about it and you get all hyper focused on it and you just become neurotic and just too intense and you get messed up. So yes, you can make both statements, one or the other or both. You can say, you know what, I always have. See, one person sometimes will make you identify what you want in that person, but what you want in that person, a lot of times you start to realize you want in all people. It's not that you want them to be the same as the people physically, but you want the performance to be the same. So you're like, man, I wish this person was harder working or more honest or had a better work ethic or came on time or always did more than what they were asked or was this. You identify that desire in one person. But then if you step back and you say, well, shoot, I think I'd like everybody to be that. Right? So it can go from a specific person to just a general statement. You know what? So then you start saying the general statement. That's what I would do because number one, when you are something, what does it say? No man comes to me unless my Father in me calls him. So the Father in you is your awareness. Your awareness is always calling things into your physical world as expressions of itself. Because I'm this thing represents that. Let's go. Come on. It's like you go into the school. There's 1,000 kids, but you pick up your child, right? Because you know that your child's a physical representation of you, right? So when you identify something in one person, sometimes it allows you to say, okay, let me fix or change or improve something. But now actually let me go a step further and make this desire a standard where it's just that way with everyone. So then you start telling yourself like, I always have the best staff. All my staff is hardworking, loving, caring. They always do more than what I ask. They always go above and beyond. They always go the extra mile. We have the best relationships. I always pay them well. They always work harder than, you get a chance as an opportunity to choose a preference. Sometimes we find out we have a better idea of what we like when we go through some things we don't like. That's not necessary, but it is an opportunity. You say, you know what? I can't stand this thing. Well, I'm very clear on what I don't like. What do I like? I would rather this and that and this and that. It's an opportunity for you to be more clear about what you want to see from this person, but also just it gives you an opportunity to set a standard of what you want to see in everyone, because you don't care who's doing it right and who's doing it wrong. You only care if it's right or if it's wrong. So a lot of times that's why you guys always hear me say, take the emotion out of things. It's not to be emotionless, but sometimes that's all we are. And we mistake emotion and motivation for information, for actual awareness and actually thinking properly. We just know how we feel, right? But no, extracting some of that emotion out and saying, okay, yeah, I'd like this person to be better, but shoot, I'd like everybody to be this thing that I'm now saying I want. So you know what? I now say, yeah, this person is that, but bigger and better than that, everybody is that now. All of my employees are like this, or all of my relationships are like this, or all of my days are like this. You're not making any exceptions, any exemptions. This is just a standard. This is the way it is. And that has nothing to do with them, but you use them as your motivation. You use them as your inspiration. They got your attention because all this is your reality. This is your experience. And you are always in a position to change it by choosing what you would prefer instead. What happens is, like I said with the acorn, we want the tree, but we won't let the acorn out of our hand. We're holding on to this thing and we won't let it go. We won't assume it to be. We won't plant it. We won't put it in the space where it can turn into the tree because we don't know how. Well, then over here, we won't change anything because we get so mired in the experience. We get so bogged down in it that we feel like we can't see a way out. We won't step back and realize, oh, I really don't like this. This sucks. But who am I? Well, I'm all that is. I am. So this is just not what I prefer. Let there be light. Let there be light. Like when I was talking on the call yesterday, in the beginning of the book, it said there was darkness. You didn't see God look around and be like, damn, ain't this a, well, what am I going to do now? Well, this is some bull. Well, you didn't see that. You saw awareness say, oh, it's dark. All right, turn some lights on. Let there be light, right? But you were saying, let there be light from the dark. You are saying, let there be this new thing from your current thing. And we get so bogged down in our current thing that we forget we can choose something else. We forget that we can say, let there be what I do want. We get so caught up in what we don't want, and then we're in it. Then we call and tell everybody about it. We literally keep ourselves in that prison. We forget who we are, and who we are always has a choice. So you can tell yourself something about that person. You write down everything you don't like. Fine, do that. Then put a line in the middle and then say, for this I don't like, I want this. This I don't like, I want this. And now you got that list. Now rip off that side that you don't like, throw it out, and you walk around with this side the whole time. You start telling yourself this side over and over. And then when the person did mop when they were supposed to, you remind them to mop. But you don't change what you tell yourself about it. I always, hey, make sure you mop. Have a good day, or make sure you mop, and you keep it moving. But you don't say, make sure you mop. Damn, I knew it was, she ain't never gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna, you already dropped the ball. Right? You already dropped the ball. You say to yourself, hey, yes, you do say something. You don't say nothing and not let them mop. No, hey, make sure you mop. But man, sometimes you need to take that, hey, make sure you mop. This person is, sometimes you got to get to it before it gets to you. You don't change your mind. This is about, it's what you want to see is a different thing, but you want to see that. This is about you. That's why I said what I said. This is about you. Somebody else is going to benefit maybe, and them being a better employee may not benefit them, so to speak. But whether it benefits them or you, it's still all about you, because you're the one that wants to see this thing. You want to see that. And so you have to do whatever it takes to keep telling yourself that what you want to see is true, not letting turning right, not letting the detour, you keep your eye on the prize, not letting the detour, right, stop you from telling yourself that you are what you say you are, or that you have what you say you want. You just told them to mop. You didn't say, well, let me tell you what I see about the Lord in my eyes. You're not doing all that, right? You just tell them to mop. But you tell yourself that they're the great, that they are a part of everything that you represent. I always have the best employees. All my employees do the best. You tell yourself right then and there so that you get to your mind before it gets to you, but so that you don't let what you see take you off your vision, right? Take you off the prize, off of the end that it is that you want to see. Does that make sense? Does that answer your
That
question?
absolutely does. Thank you.
Well, okay, anybody else before I move on? Okay. I'll say that. I'm going to change it. All right. Because we've been in this physical body so long, we forgot who we really are. And because we forgot who we really are, we really think we are just human. We think we're just this flesh and bones. We think we're that. As a result of that, because we think we are just physical, this flesh and bone thing, we think everything is physical. We believe everything is physical. So everything, if we can't see it, it doesn't exist. If we can't smell it, it doesn't exist. If we can't touch it, it doesn't exist. If we can't hear it, it doesn't exist. If we don't do something with our physical body, it can't happen. It won't work. It's not going to be this or that. We're always justifying everything in our physical world. Really, we turn our flesh and bones in this physical world into God itself. We start thinking this is the end all and be all. This body is the end all and be all. This physical world is the end all and be all. And we don't realize that we forget who we are, and we forget that we are not our body, that our body is our possession. It's not us. That this world was created and that we existed before this world was created. So this world is not the end all and be all. How could it be when it came after us? If it was the end all and be all, it would be here before us. If this body was the end all and be all, it would be here before us and after us. It is not. It is only our possession. It is only something we're using to express ourselves in and with, right? And because we have fallen into this sleep that we're awakening now. We're waking up, which is why we're here on calls like this, because we're awakening. We may not know what we're awakening to, right? You wake, you hear something banging, you're like, what is that? But you do hear something banging. It may be a pot, maybe a pan, it may be somebody banging on the wall, banging on the front door, but you're awakened by this noise. We're all, everybody on a call or calls like this are waking up. Different states of waking, but we're waking up because we're aware of something. We're not necessarily sure what it is, but we are aware. And as we continue to awaken, we realize it's not a pot or it's not a pan, it's somebody banging on the front door. Or it's not somebody banging on the front door, it's somebody banging on the wall, right? Or it's not, we start to realize as we awaken out of our sleep, we start to realize first that there's a noise. Then we start looking to identify what it is, and then we start to hone in on what it is and what it isn't. Right? That it's not the pot or the pan, it's the door. It's not the door, it's the wall. It's not the wall, it's the pot or the pan. It's somebody banging on the ground, or we start to hone in on what the noise actually represents and where it's coming from. So we're awakening in our mind. That's why we're here. Our consciousness is awakening. We've all had enough experiences to be here in this moment at this point. Not necessarily knowing what it's all about or where it's coming from, like I said, the noise, but the longer we're here, we start to hone in on what awakening actually is. And part of that awakening, well, the whole part of the awakening really is just the remembrance of who we are. The remembrance that we are, I am, and there is no other. That we are, I am, we are consciousness that makes a body and that makes a body alive by stepping into it. We are consciousness that has created this world, and this world is nothing but a canvas for us to play on and a paint on and a playground to play in. But we created this experience. It didn't create us. We created this body. This body doesn't create us. We are that. And because we forget that, and when we forget that, and while we have forgotten that, we make everything physical. So that is why we're so dead set on earning something. We're so dead set on So dead set on earning, so dead set on working, so dead set on grinding, so dead set on striving, because we make everything physical to justify our existence. We're trying to justify, like, well, the reason I'm here, or the fact that I'm here, or to stay here. We feel like as long as we have to keep proving something all the time, and all of it is physical. Look how hard I worked this week. Look at how, look at how many hours I put in, or look at how I didn't eat this for 6 months, or look at how we try to justify our existence by physical things and how much we can do physically. But that is an unsustainable thing, because it's not really true. We are I am, and we are not physical. We are consciousness, but consciousness produces the physical. That's why you can change anything physically by first changing your consciousness, which is what I was just saying in the last one, right? You can change anything physical by changing your consciousness, by changing your awareness of that thing. What is that thing to you? What are you telling yourself that is? What are you believing that is? What are you accepting or allowing that to be in your mind? What are you telling yourself about that thing? And whatever you're telling yourself is because of, first, who you told yourself you are. I'm a father, Marlon's a father. But that doesn't just because I'm a father, I can't pick up Marlon's kids. Those are not my kids. He can't pick up my daughter. That's not his daughter. But we're both still fathers, right? But we're only going to experience the thing that we're related to. So he gets to pick up his boys. I get to pick up my daughter. I'm picking up what I'm related to, right? And the thing that I'm related to came after me. The physical expression comes after consciousness. The kids come after the parent. So anytime we want to change, anytime we want to have a new physical expression, we have to have a new consciousness about that thing. We have to have a new identity about that thing. We have to tell ourselves that either we are different or it is different. And usually both happen at the same time, because it changes because we change. It only changes after we change, not before it. That is why when you want your employee to be different, and you meditated all weekend, and your employee comes in, and you know what, Lenny's gonna be there on time. Lenny's gonna be there on time. Lenny's gonna be there all weekend. You were affirmation tapes, you slept with it, you did everything you could. Lenny's gonna be there on time. Monday morning comes in, you done pumped yourself up, you're driving up, and guess what you're doing? You're looking for Lenny's truck. And as soon as you don't see Lenny's truck, what do? What do we do? Oh, damn. I knew this wasn't going to work. This is just positive. All right, come on, man. We've all done it. Whether it's Lenny being at work on time, or your spouse taking out the trash, or your kids being a better student, or their room being clean, right? Or we try to do that. And as soon as we don't see it, or we see the opposite, what do? We abandon it. We abandon it. So that means we're not being. But none of us ever stop to think that we are not being what we want any more than they are being what we want. We want them to change, but we won't change our mind. As soon as you didn't see Lenny's car there, your whole weekend, you wasted your whole weekend. I could have been watching TV. I slept with those things in my ears, and my ear was hurting. I couldn't sleep on my side, but I was listening to Lenny's gonna be there on time all weekend. As soon as you pull up on Monday, Lenny's car is not there, and you're like, I knew it. What did it say? That which I greatly feared has come upon me. I knew it. You knew it. You didn't change. You just started saying a bunch of words, but you didn't change. You didn't. Why? Because as soon as something didn't happen that you thought didn't happen, you went right back. You went right back. You've been telling your kids to clean their room for 2 weeks. And then they clean their room up, and you're like, oh, thank God. And then 2 days later, it's right back where it was. You're mad all over again because they didn't change. It's right back to what it was. Well, it's the same thing. If you've been telling yourself Lenny's going to be there on time, you pull up on Monday and Lenny's truck is not there, what do you tell yourself then? Hell, better yet, it ain't Monday. It's our favorite day of the week, Tuesday. Yeah, because you listen to affirmation tapes all weekend. But Lenny was late on Monday. And by Tuesday, you right back to where you started. You forgot you listened to the tapes all week. Man, Monday, he disappointed you. By Tuesday, he's the same thing you thought he was on Friday. You went right back. But who went back? You did. And why did you go back? Because you based it on them. That's why I say when you think you're trying to help people or change people, you have to change. Because as soon as you look and that person looks the same, you're going to go right back to what you were because you made it about them instead of you. You made it about what you want to see and what you told yourself to be true and what you're believing to be true. You made it about someone else, so you lost it. Soon as they didn't show up the way you wanted, you made it about them, and now you're right back. Well, it's about them. Well, now he's late. Well, then guess what? He's late in your mind. He is who he was right there. Yes, because that is essentially what your ego mind is there for. It's to prove you right. That's why if you don't tell it the right things, meaning the things you want to see, it's going to prove you right, whether you tell it good things or bad things, right things or wrong things. It is going to bring physical things into your world to constantly prove you right. That's why I always say whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Which I got from, I can see her face, but from a lady, she says on YouTube, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Whatever you put in that car seat, your car seat is going to hold. Your ego mind is like that car seat. It's going to, whether you put an Asian baby, a white, a black, a girl, a boy, I don't care how much difference you think you're putting in that car, it's going to hold it because it doesn't hold it according to whether it's good or bad, Asian or white, black, girl, boy, it doesn't care. It's going to hold it. That's its job. Your ego mind, part of your brain that is proving you to be true all the time, is going to consistently produce experiences based on what you've put in it, what you've told it to be true. It doesn't care. There is no good or bad, right or wrong. It's a car seat. It holds what you put in it. Hell, I've gone to Costco and got something. And when my daughter was young, I put something in her car seat when she wasn't in it to hold it, to stop it from sliding. Buckled it up like it was a child. Because I'm like, okay, well, shoot, it's a principle. It's a law. It's designed to hold things, not good things or bad things, things. Your mind is not designed to hold good things or bad things. It's designed to hold things. The thoughts you put into it. And what it produces are the ones, and what it produces in physical form, what it says, oh, let me show him this, let me show her this. It shows you experiences based on which ones you put in there the most. You're saying, I am the most of this. Out of all things that I am, I'm really this. And that's your experience. That is why the whole weekend, as soon as Lenny doesn't show up on time, you abandon it. And you're not who you want to be, but you want Lenny to be who you want them to be. Neither one of you are what you want. You aren't, and he isn't. Because neither one of you can actually show up and maintain that frame. And that's something you have to be able to do on your own. You have to be able to tell yourself, I don't care if he doesn't show up on time on Monday. He's still what I say he is. I'll still say, hey, man, you were late. You need to get here on time. Or, hey, if I got to dock your pay, or whatever it is, you do what you have to do in the physical world. But you don't change your mind about what you're telling yourself about that person, because you're changing your mind about your own experience. You think it's about them. It's not. It's about you. But that's why you can't get anything, because you keep making it about them. That's why you can't get the change you're looking for, because you haven't changed. Because if you were, you would say something to them physically, hey, you got to be on time, or you got to stay at whatever the outcome of that is, cool. But in my consciousness, I still tell myself that they are what I said, because this is for me. So I'm not going to let them do something that's going to make me stop telling myself what I want to see. Otherwise, I'll never want to see it. I'll never see it, because I'm not the person who can see that, because I'm not the person who's being that. Because as soon as something happens that I don't want to see, or I don't see what I would like to see, I go right back to the person not seeing. I'm always the person not seeing. So then I can't see what I want to see, because I'm the person not seeing. Who am I being? Who are you being? You're being the person who can't see. So you can't see Lenny on time, because that's not a state you're maintaining. That's not something that you're being. You're more time not than you are. So whatever you're more of, that's what you're going to see more of. You may see a little spark. Lenny may get there 2 days in a row. Your kids clean up their room 2 days in a row. Does that help you when you come back 2 weeks later and it's messy again? It might even make you more upset, because then you're feeling like they should know better. You did it once. Why didn't you keep it that way, right? Well, yeah, you decide you did it once. Lenny is the best employee I have, or all my employees are like this. You did it once. Why don't you keep it that way? If this is what you want to see, you have to be able to tell yourself what you want to see and tell yourself this is the way it is. It's not negotiable. It's not up for debate. It's not for I don't that's why a lot of times when you want something for other people, keep your mouth closed because you can't really handle their objection to it. You're only doing it in your mind, so you're not doing anything physical to them. But you just get to change what access you have to a different version of them. But if you involve other people all the time, you won't be able to handle it most times. Because you're already mad. You already have enough history. So you have what you think plus what they think. Now you done doubled your load up. Right? I want my son to be this. I want my daughter to be this. I want this. I want that. Okay, cool. That's what I want. That's my idea. Okay, now I am one with that thing. Idea and me are one. This now brings life. It brings expression. But I can't be doing this. Yeah, but you just don't understand. Yeah, but why I don't understand, you're still like this. Yeah, well, I understand you're like this. Yeah, but I don't understand. Yeah, but you're like this. You're not this. This is the only way this works. It's not this. It's not this like hanging off the thing. It's not this way. It's this. Your idea of Lenny and you have to be this. Otherwise, you are double minded. You have two things, this and that. This and that right here does what? Nothing. Only this does something. Only this makes a noise. Only this claps. Only this becomes one. This doesn't do that. This doesn't do it. This doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. Only that does it. Your idea and you becoming one. I am this idea. I am this desire. This is what I am. And now you leave it alone. It has its own way of producing itself. So when we talked earlier, when the young lady asked the question, and I said, when you're talking about going to the store and there's a storm outside, you've already decided you're going to the store for what? You want something, you need something. So tell yourself you have whatever it is you want from the store. Oh, I have the peanut butter I need. I have the this, or I have the that. I have whatever I'm doing this for, I'm going to identify myself as the person who has it. I don't have to figure out how to make that happen. I didn't know it was going to rain. I didn't know there's a pothole. I don't know those things. My humanity doesn't know that, but my humanity does know what it wants to experience. So therefore, I am going to say, I have whatever that experience is. And I let my divinity guide me right to it, guide my footsteps and direct my paths. The omniscience that lies within you, it's all knowing. It knows how to get whatever it is it wants. It doesn't need your help. It just needs your permission. But we won't give it permission because we don't know how. Okay, well, Mom, can I have some pancakes? I'm 5 years old. Mom, can I have some pancakes? Yeah. Well, how are you going to do it? And walk me through it. That's just because you don't know doesn't mean the person you asked doesn't know. And you already so, and even if they told you, you still don't do it, still ain't gonna do it, they're gonna do it. So tell them what you want, get their permission, and then move on. It is that simple. We complicate it, then it makes it hard. We tell ourselves how hard it is, and whatever we tell ourselves is true, and so we're going to keep seeing how hard it is. We just don't realize who we are, so we don't really watch what we're saying. Not even in semantics, but in intention and in awareness. We don't realize who we are, so we just think, oh man, it's going to be a long day today. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Oh man, it's hard out here. What do you mean by that? Do you know who you are? All you're doing now is selecting something or telling me what you've already chosen. Then you're mad when you get it. Right? Choose this day who you serve. You have to choose. You have to choose which thoughts you're going to serve, that you're going to be operating with, operating under, and that you're going to be serving to yourself to experience. We keep thinking we can tell ourselves anything and it doesn't matter. But we make every effort to complain, but it doesn't matter. We make every effort to whine and moan and tell ourselves it won't work, but then we say it doesn't matter. It does matter. And that's why you keep saying it, because it matters. But you don't realize who you are. You don't realize that you're just making this harder for you than it needs to be. It doesn't need to be that hard. But you have to be willing to tell yourself from where you stand that it's this now. From dark, let there be light. From Lenny is never on time to Lenny is always on time. From I want some peanut butter, so my human idea is to go to the store. Okay, cool. But once I look outside, that's not a good thing to do it. I don't have to drop my idea. I'm just going to tell myself, okay, fine, I have the peanut butter. So let me answer the question a little bit better. If you want to go to the store and because you want some peanut butter and you look outside and there's a storm, all the roads are flooded, it is not a good look. Well then shoot, I'm not going out there unless you got some kind of canoe or you some kind of river rafter. I'm not going out there. But that doesn't mean I'm going to drop my desire for the peanut butter just because my human mind doesn't know how to get it. My human mind just assumes how to get it, but it doesn't know all the ways that this can happen. So then what do I want? I want my peanut butter. Cool. Well, I'm not going to physically go out there and do it. Well, then, but I'm still going to retain the goal, the vision in my mind. I'm still going to keep my eye on the prize. You know what? I want peanut butter. I'm just going to tell myself I have peanut butter. I don't know how I don't know how I was going to get it, but I have peanut butter. My idea of peanut butter and me are one. I have peanut butter. And every time I think about it, I have peanut butter. I have my peanut butter. I don't know humanly how that's going to happen. But divinely, I make all things happen. So that it's you could be like, wait a minute, I bought some peanut butter 2 months ago, and you could remember right then. Somebody could drop some off somehow. You don't know how it's going to happen, but because you don't know how, you won't assume that you have it. And if you don't assume that you have it, you're not the person who has it, so you can't actually see that experience in your life. That's my point. Just you keep your eye on your prize. The eye on the prize is not the things it takes to get there. The eye on your prize is the fact that you have what it takes, that you have the thing that you're doing all this for. The prize, your eye on it is is the thing. It's not the means. It's not how. That's not the prize. That's not where your eye should be. Your eye is on the end. You're going to the store for what? Well, I'm going because I want to get out of the house. Okay. So I want to get out of the house. You look outside and you're like, that's not going to work. And you say, okay, you know what? But I got out of the house today. I did something that got me out of the house. Somebody could come and pick you up. Or it could stop raining for 10 minutes. Anything could happen. But in our human mind, we think because we don't have an answer right then that there is no answer. And I'm telling you, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. So whatever you tell yourself is true. And you'll always prove what you want to feel if you'll stick with it. So this week I took my daughter to concert choir performance. So I pick her up, I get her a little snack after school so she can have it right then. Then also she has a little binder with all her music and stuff in it that they have to sing, and she has a bag full of snacks because it's a couple hours after school. So I pick her up, I give her the Jamba Juice, she's drinking that. We get to the place. I walk her in. We've been there before, but we're in a different place because they're getting ready to have a performance. So they're combining all the different choirs, ages, and all the other stuff. So we're in a different place. So get out, walk her in. People are there. I talk to her for 1 or 2 minutes and I leave. I'm going back home because I have to get another call like this. So I'm going back home. About 10 minutes, 12 minutes after I leave, my daughter calls me and says, Dad, guess what? I said, what? She said, we forgot the binder and the snacks in the front part of my car, in the front trunk, right? I put it in there because I separated. So I put it in there, but we forgot to take it out. So I'm like, oh, snap. So now, I like things. Anybody knows me, I like things a certain way. I like things in order. I like things to be done right, and things like that. So I'm like, oh. So then I feel that. Then I feel the dad part of, hey, my daughter's not going to have any snacks. She's not going to have her binder. And so I'm like, hey, all right, honey, do you want me to come back? And she's like, no, Dad, it's all right. I have enough to drink. The smoothie's good enough. And, we'll just keep the binder. Don't worry about it. I'll just use somebody, share with somebody. The snacks, I'm okay. And I'm like, are you, honey? Because now as the dad, I'm like, oh, God, right? Because I know practice is a couple hours, but I'm like 10 or 12 minutes away. And I'm 30 minutes from the house, but in California, that's an hour, right? You just double it up for traffic. So you're out here. So now, it's 4, so I have to be on a call at 5. So it's like 4:02, and I know if I keep going, I'll get home by like 4:50. So I'm good. But if I turn around, I know I'm probably going to be late. So then I'm like, oh, stop. But then again, I'm her dad. So I'm like, nah, I can't do it. If I'm late. I'm going to have to figure something out, send a message out and let people know. Because I don't like to be late on my calls. I like my stuff a certain way. When I ran and rave at you guys, we're not, we make mistakes, but to the best of my ability, I am what I tell you. Right. So I don't, so I'm like, oh God, I like to be on time. I like to be early, have my stuff set up. I like to be ready, right? So I'm like, but if I turn around, I know that the likelihood of that is going to be nil, right? So I'm like, oh, but I'm her dad, so I don't like that. I'm not going to have my girl out there starving because I forgot something, right? Yeah, she's 15, but I still forgot it too, right? So even if she forgot, I still forgot, right? So anyway, she was like, no, dad, it's good. Don't worry about it. So then I'm like, honey, are you sure? She's like, yeah, dad, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I just called you because I realized, and if you were close, cool. But if not, I know don't worry about it. I'm okay. Don't worry about it. So the whole way home, I'm fighting with myself. Now I'm like, so, first 5 minutes after that, I'm like, should I turn around? I'm like, all right. She said she's okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tell myself everything works out perfect. Everything is working out perfect. Everything is okay. Everything is now. When I first say this, there's not anything in me that believes it. Not a thing. Not I'm messed up, right? Because I don't want that. So, but I'm like, you know what? But you know what? Everything is okay because to Latoya's point early, things happen in life, and we can respond any way we want. That's not the issue. The issue is realizing that you can respond any way you want. The issue is to remember that you do have a choice. That now you can choose to respond any way you want, but just remember that you can choose. That it's not, you don't have to just fly off the handle or start crying or start cursing or go into depression or be sad. You do have a choice. What choice you choose is up to you, but the power is in the fact that you can always remember you have a choice. Sometimes that's hard to remember. Sometimes it's hard to remember, but but you can, right? So I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna choose to tell myself everything is perfect. Everything is all right. Everything is perfect. She's all right. Everything is perfect. Everything is working out perfect. So afterward, when she gets out and she's, she calls me when she gets out and she's on her way home and she said, Dad, guess what? And I said, what? She said, Eric forgot his binder too. So Eric is the head of it. He's her teacher. And so it was like, oh, it is funny because we kind of joke because he's so serious about it. Like, I mean, he's serious about it. Like he is like serious about it. Everybody who knows him knows how passionate he is about it, how serious he is about it. Like he's in love with it. I mean, when he's directing, you can see him. He's almost singing it. He's just in it, right? He's all the way in it. And when they travel, he's so serious that he's in it. So for him to forget his thing, it was like, Dad, you're not gonna believe it. Eric forgot his thing. So I'm saying all that to say, in my experience, it was my way of letting myself know that everything worked out perfect, that everything was actually okay. It worked out perfect. That somebody you would have never thought would forget something like that, and you're the teacher, forgot it. But it was my way. It was my own way. It was my I amness' way of letting my humanity know, the lucky know that it is what you say it was. As above, so below. As within, so without. That everything worked out okay. She was like, oh yeah, I got to share some of my things. I had a couple snacks. It was all good. Right. But I had to tell myself that when I didn't immediately feel that, when I didn't initially think that, when I didn't mean for that to happen, but it happened. So what am I going to do now? Right. I'm not going to let Lenny change my mind. I couldn't let that situation change my mind once I made a choice, but I had to keep hammering myself until it smoothed out. Right? I had to smooth it out in my mind. I had to come to grips with it in my mind. And my world later showed me that what I told myself to be true was true. Now, I didn't get to talk to her in the meantime. She didn't send me a text and tell me it was all good. I didn't get to hear this until 2.5, almost 3 hours later. So in that meantime, when people say, well, when you think of something, what do you do until then? Keep reminding yourself that whatever you told yourself is true is true. That's what you do until then. Go about your day. I still had to drive home. Go about your day. But whenever I think about this is what it is. I don't have any proof. I don't have any action steps I can take. There's no way to make it work out. There's no physical thing I can do. If I'm not going to turn around, I could do that. But then I'm telling myself something different. That's fine. But if I tell myself that everything is okay so that I can keep getting home and get on time to where I am, then I have to be on that path now. That's the prize. The prize is everything is okay. Everything is working out for me. This is okay. This situation is okay. Now, in the middle of when I told myself that, when I got home, while I'm on the call, I have no physical proof that that's true. None. Except what I've told myself. I have no proof that that's true. But I have to keep telling myself that it is. This is what it is. Can I see it? No. Can I taste it? Touch it? No. Did I hear from her? No. Did she send me a text? It's all right? No. Did I hear anything? No. Nothing. But all I can hear, guess who I can hear? Me. I can hear me. I can hear, what am I telling myself? Man, you know, you should have turned around. Man, she's gonna be out there hungry. I can hear that, or I can say, no, man, everything is working out perfect. Everything, she has everything she needs. She's okay. Everything is perfect. Everything that needs to happen for this to be perfect. I don't know what that is, but I do know that it's perfect. It is what I say it is, though. So and I had to stay on it. I turned the music off. I turned the podcast off. I hammered my mind for about a good 10 minutes because I had to get over the organizational me, the father me, the hunger, and all. I had to get over that. I had to say, so I hammered myself. Everything is perfect. Everything, and I kept it on it. Then once it kind of, the winds and the waves got still, got a little more calm, and I went on the rest about my day. 2.5, 3 hours later, she tells me, "Oh, Dad, guess what?" So what I'm saying is that Lenny is anything that you want to change in your life. That situation is, things happen. I didn't mean it. I made a mistake. I didn't mean it. But what am I going to do now? Whatever I tell myself to be true is going to be true. This means it's going to all fall apart, or this means everything is going to work out anyway because I have control. I have control of what I think and what I say, and I know that my word does not come back to me void. That whatever I declare and decree comes to pass, right? I declare the end from the beginning, right? So the end of this is it's all going to work out and everything's going to be good. I'm going to declare that right now because I need that to be the case. I don't need this to be the case. Oh, she's going to be hungry. Oh, she's going to have a headache or something. Oh, she's going to get sick. Oh, she's not going to get a thing. Oh, she's going to be in trouble. Whatever your mind starts telling you, you have to get a handle on it and start telling yourself, yeah, but do I want that? If I don't, let me start telling myself something different. But I don't have any proof that what I'm telling myself is I can't say I have proof when I say it, but I know the law, so I know to apply it. I know that I'm the proof. I can't see something that I am. I'm that. I'm looking for something out there and it's me. So then if it's me, what am I saying? And that's how that happened. So just a own little small personal experience this week. But things happen. And you have to say, Lenny is what I say they are. Not what I say they aren't. They are what I say they are. I don't care how long I've seen something else. I don't care how I felt in that moment of, oh man, I messed up. I don't care. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, I see. I saw him late to work pulling up. I felt what my daughter told me. We all feel something in that moment. But in that moment is when you have to set yourself free by telling yourself what you want now. From here, you don't get to go here and be like, oh, since I'm good now, it's good. No, from here, you have to say, let there be light from the dark. From here, from when you pull off and they say, I don't have any snacks or my binder. And the whole point of my afternoon before I pick her up is to make sure she has both of those. And I forgot. I did all that work and still forgot it in my mind, right? So from that dark, from that place of where I don't want to be, I have to tell myself that it is the way I want it to be, that it's going to still work out the way I want. I'm still going to get my desired end of her being okay, having a good time, doing what she needs to do, being able to perform the way she needs to perform. I have to tell myself that now because I can't see it. I have to tell myself that so that I can see it. So him forgetting his binder was my own awareness's way of showing me you got what you wanted, meaning it was okay. It was proof that it was okay. That was my way. Everybody will have their own way of proving what they say to be true. That's what I want you to understand, right? That this is about not only who you're being, but not only who you're being in experience, but also in who you're being and how you deal with your experience. Great to be in a boat. That's great. But then what happens when the winds and waves rise? Then what do you do? Great to have your business. What happens if you hit refresh and nobody's bought anything for 2 hours? Great to have employees. What happens if they come in late every day? You're gonna have to make some choices. You're gonna start telling yourself, okay, I don't like this. That's cool, normal, that's reasonable. What do I like? What do I want? How do I want? This is creating your reality. You're having an experience right now called reality, let's say, and you don't like it. Okay, you have the ability to choose a different one. Can you do that from where you are? If you can't, you will stay as you are. Even I am he. And if you believe not, you will die in your sins. Your awareness is everything. It's creating your reality. It is the thing that is actually expressing itself physically. Your awareness, who you are, is physically expressing itself in your world. That's what you see, don't see, why you see it, why you don't see it. If you don't understand that, you will die in your sins. You will stay as you are. So when it's dark, you have to say, let there be light. if you want something different than what you have. If Lenny's always late, you got to turn Lenny into on time in your mind. Lenny is now this. You redefine your experience. Okay, I'm now the person where all my employees are on time. Or I'm now the person whose daughter is okay just because I say so. Not because I can see it, not because she has the snacks in her hand, just because I say she is. And I have the ability to do that too. Right? So you have the ability to change, create, and control by what you tell yourself, by what aspect of yourself you're picking. Who are you? That's something you have to get a hold over and a hold of and an awareness of. That way you can actually create, you can actually select and experience the reality, the self of you. Reality is you. You're experiencing yourself. So when you say, I want my employees to be this, you want that because of how it's going to make you feel, how it's going to affect you. You want that. So you're only experiencing yourself. So when you're unwilling to tell yourself your desire, you're basically denying yourself from experiencing yourself the way you want, how you're supposed to feel. When you go without being who you want to be, the reason that's not good is because you go without being who you want to be, but guess what you still are? Being something. You're just being who you don't want to be. You don't get to be like, well, since I'm not who I want to be, I'm nothing. No, no. You're just, since you're not who you want to be, you're who you don't want to be. There's this is binary. I know this is 0 or 1. Humanity says there's vagueness, there's gray areas, there's gray lines. Awareness doesn't work like that. You either are or you're not. That's it. You're either Marlon or you're not. That's either your identity or it's identity theft. Is there like a middle? Well, I'm kind of Marlon. Is there like a kinda? You're not. You're either Marlon or you've stolen somebody's identity. And you're going to suffer for that at some point, generally. Right? You either are or you're not. You're either being it or you're not. Lenny's on time in your mind because you said so or not. But if Lenny rolls up late and you let Lenny's behavior change your mind, then guess what? Lenny's not, but you're not either. What he is not in physical expression, you're not in consciousness. You're both not. Leave Lenny alone and Lenny will change because you've changed, meaning you will be a different person because you're now the person who has this new Lenny. So a new you gets a new Lenny. I had to become the person where that situation was okay. I didn't have a way to make it okay. I didn't have a way to call anybody. It just was what it was. But whatever it was I chose that it was going to be what I said it was. I wasn't gambling. Like I told you guys last week, I'm not into it. I'm not going to just hope and see. Let's see how it works out. No, that's not going to work out. I'm going to say how it's going to work out. I have no human way of making that happen, but I have a higher way of making it happen, and that's what I use. That's what I use. That's what you use. Your awareness of being to tell yourself that things are the way you want them to be. Right? All right. Any questions on that? Nope. Okay. Everything I say to you, everything I say to you, even if you don't realize who you are in this moment, it's okay. I'm going to say it this way. Any teacher that teaches you something is teaching you because you don't know it. And you grow and mature into it, into the knowledge of 2 + 2 is being 4. If you already knew it, they didn't teach you. So just because the things I say to you, you're not aware of being or doing or having yet, doesn't mean they're not true. It just means you're not aware of being or doing or having them yet. Just because you don't know 2 + 2 is 4 at a very young age, doesn't mean it's not true. And it doesn't mean that you won't grow into it. So saying it this way, so when I'm teaching you something, meaning when I say teaching, I'm telling you something that you may not be aware of being true yet. But that doesn't matter. I am bringing it to your attention because it's the truth, so that you can now start aligning yourself with the truth. The sooner, the better. What I am telling you is to get you ultimately to stop kneeling at the throne and start sitting on the throne. To stop kneeling and stand up and start sitting. You're sitting there kneeling at the throne of something somewhere, someone somewhere, something somewhere. You're sitting there on your knees looking up. And you're kneeling at the throne where now it's time to sit on the throne. That's your throne. Haven't you noticed there's nobody in it? That's where you're supposed to be sitting. You are supposed to be on the throne of your life. And yes, we don't, just like 2 + 2 is 4, it's the truth. But I don't know that when I'm 1. I don't know that. In that level of mind, I don't know that. I can come to know it, but I don't know it, right? I am telling you that the throne you're kneeling at is the one you're supposed to be sitting on. I don't expect you to know that when I tell you. Some of us are more aware of it than others. But hell, I'm still, hold, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, it's nice to get up off your knees and sit on the throne, but you still got to get used to sitting on that. You still got to get used to that being who you are all the time. When you forget your daughter's snacks, or when you wake up and your leg feels a little funny, or when you look on your business online and nobody's bought anything, or when you roll up to your brick and mortar and there's nobody outside, or when you've been there for a couple hours and no one's walked in. You have to realize, no, this is my throne. I'm sitting. Ain't nobody taking me out of it. I'm not leaving that. No, this is who I am. This is how it is. I am that. I am all there is. I am all that is. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. When you say I am, you're talking about yourself. You are the truth. You are the way. You are the life. You are. And until you realize it's you, you keep looking for everyone and everything else to be the way, the truth, and the life. It says I am. That means it's talking about you, singular, first person. So there is no we are the way, we are the truth, we are the life. That there is no we. Just like being prosecuted in court, there's only one person on the stand at once. That's you. And you can either get on the stand, or you can get on the throne. The throne is more comfortable. It's much nicer. But it's much nicer. That stand ain't designed to be comfortable, right? In examination or on your case. It's not designed, it's not a pleasure seat. There ain't no cushion in there, right? Except what you bring. So you can either be on the stand or you could be on the throne. The throne is a lot nice placer to be. But that takes your awareness. That takes me bringing you to the truth that you are what you think you're praying to. You are what you think you're looking for. That's you. You're only having an internal dialogue. That's all you're having. You think you're talking outside, but you're not. You think you're talking outside because your ears can hear it. But you're not. You're having an internal dialogue. You are literally accessing your awareness of being. And you're always telling yourself something, and you're accessing that part of your awareness of being that makes it true. You're everything. You're already everything you'll ever be. So you're the person who has it and the person who doesn't. You're the person whose employee is always late. You're the person whose employees are always on time. You have to choose which one of those you are. But just like you'll put your body on a diet, right? To restrict something from this or that or the other, you have to put your mind on one. You have to start being more specific and particular and saying, okay, I'm only going to choose to think these things. Because if I don't eat meat, then I can't get sick from eating it because I don't eat that. I can't experience what I'm not experiencing. So then if I don't choose these things, then these things cannot happen to me. They won't keep happening. As soon as you get rid of them, they will stop happening. As soon as you get rid of them, they'll stop happening. Because what's happening is what's happening. This is what's happening. We think this is what's happening. We think the body is independent. The body is not independent. The body is an expression of consciousness, is an expression of the mind. So whatever's going on in your body is first happening from your mind. Your body's only expressing it. It's not creating it. It's only expressing it. Whatever's going on in your business is only expressing what's going on in your mind. You want more customers? Get more customers. Start telling yourself you have more customers. Start telling yourself what type of customers you have. Most people in business only do half of it. They only talk about what it's going to be for others. They don't ever talk about what it's going to be for themselves. How many, when you wake up and you got a business, how many of you have a mission, you have a vision statement? Or so like when you have a business plan, right? All those, your business plan and all the other stuff, your vision statement and all this stuff people tell you you need to have. How many of you have like how many of you have a personal business statement, like a personal business statement? My business, but personally. Personally, my business is this. My business goes like this. My business does this. My business creates this. I mean, a personal business statement, like a not one that you give to investors. They would never know what it was. Meaning, when you wake up and you think about your business, what is it? Like, how does it go? Do you put on your business statement, all my customers love me? Do you put that, if you had a business statement and you went to the bank, would you put that on there? All my customers love me. Would you put that on there? No. So that's what I mean by, right? That's what I mean by a personal business statement. You put that on your personal business statement. All my customers love me. Everyone loves what I have to offer, loves to pay me what I want, and loves to refer others to do the same. You have a personal business statement. When you wake up, you're like, this is how, because this business is an expression of me to the world. I'm only expressing myself. And I'm using my business as a conduit to do that to the world. It's like you yelling through a bullhorn. The bullhorn doesn't make a noise unless you blow through it. The business doesn't make a sale unless you sell through it. So then who's selling? Who's speaking? That's what everybody's hearing. That's what everybody's buying or not hearing. The bullhorn doesn't make a noise. The business doesn't sell anything. Your body doesn't do anything. It only expresses who's breathing through it, yelling through it, or who is selling through it. You're putting all your faith in something that requires you to do it. How can you do that? Your business can't help you. That bullhorn don't speak English. It only speaks whoever's speaking through it. Whatever's speaking through it, right? It's speaking that. It doesn't speak English, doesn't speak Chinese, Arabic, it doesn't speak Italian, doesn't speak anything. Except it is just the expression of the speaker. It is used as a conduit to express yourself. Your business is a conduit to express yourself. And we put all of our effort on the expression and none of it, not enough on the creation, on the creator itself. What's the bullhorn going to do for you if you got laryngitis? Or if you can't speak at all, what's the bullhorn going to do? What's your body going to do if you walk out of it? What's your business going to do if you didn't create it? Well, if you create it, you have to maintain it. It took an idea to create it. You don't think it's taking an idea to maintain it? Do you think ideas just start and stop? They don't. The idea that you start keeps going until you get another one. So the idea you had to create your business is the same as now the business is the way the business is running until you get another one. Took an idea to create it. It takes an idea to maintain it. So how your business is running, take a look at it. It is running on an idea. What is it? Is it hard work? Is it there's cycles in my business? What is it? It's running on an idea. You have to become aware of what it is because it's only an expression of you. Your business is not an independent thing. Your body's not an independent thing. Your relationships aren't independent things. And each one of them, you have an opportunity to redefine what they are for you. There is no good or bad choice. A bad choice is your choice you're making that you don't want to make, that you're not going to sustain. You're not going to keep it up. It's something against who you are. A good choice is something that is who you are. So then who are you? Have you decided? Do you know? Have you made a choice? Right? These are Tuesday things. These are everyday things. Your business is not independent. Your body is not independent. Things are not independent of you. They are literally running off of you. And if you want to see them change, change doesn't have to mean they're from bad to good. It can be from good to great, from great to even greater. But it's just reflecting your ability to choose. And oftentimes we don't choose. And other times we don't choose consciously on purpose. Your body, your business, they're just the middlemen. They're just the thing. You're on one side as I am. You're using this body or this business to express yourself through in the physical world. It is that your business and your body is the expression of you. And you see it, you, whatever you're thinking yourself to be, goes through your body and your business, forms your body and your business, and expresses itself in physical form. It's not independent of you. It's as easy as you are and as hard as you are, as good as you are and as bad as you are. It's a reflection of you. And if you want it to be more, you have to be more. But you have to realize being more is not an earning or an effort. It's just an awareness. You're everything. So now you're like, oh, okay, I want to be more. Well, then I'm already everything. So I want to be more of what? Okay, I now choose to be more rich or have more clients. I now start identifying myself as the more I choose to be. I identify myself as the more, as the next thing. Everything you are right now is because you've identified yourself as that. If the next thing you identify yourself with, you are then. So when you turn 46, when you're 45 and you turn 46, you're 46 right then. You're just not used to it yet. And every day that you get into 46, you become more aware of it. But you are it right then. As soon as you turn 46, you're 46. So you just become more aware of it. And so then as you become more aware of it, when somebody asks you, like, oh, yeah, I'm 46. But the first week or maybe two, you're like, oh, I'm 45. Oh, no, that's right. I'm 46 now. Because you haven't been aware of being that long. You've been aware of being 45 longer. But once you get into 46, you'll be like, oh, that's right. I'm 47. I'm not 46 anymore. You get used to anything the longer you stay. But you're all things that you could want to be and not be. So now it's just about choosing what out of everything that you are, what do you want to express? What part of yourself that do you want to express? Do you want to express Lenny being late, or do you want to express Lenny being on time? It's not about Lenny. It's about you, because you get to choose to be the person who has Lenny that's on time. That's what you have to understand here. That is the difference when we talk about things and the way the world talks about things. The world, yeah, you can do anything you want to Lenny, but it's still not going to change your issue. It'll just come back in someone else. That's why you can get rid of cancer and it'll come right back. Because you're the one who had it. So how did you get it? It's a physical, it's in your body. Your body's expressing something called cancer. But if your body's an expression of something, what is it expressing? Your consciousness. If you drove your car and you got lost, is your car lost? You're lost. Your car is just an expression of you, so it's with you, but it's not lost. It didn't make the decision. Your body doesn't make the decisions. It's just expressing you. So you can get rid of cancer, light yourself out. You can do anything you want to, but it'll be right back because you're the one who got it in your mind. It's just expressing. It's a physical expression of your mind. You can get rid of that employee, but the next one will come in, it'll be late. And you think, oh, you know what? I'm gonna pay more so that people start coming on time. Okay, but not if you think they're late. So then you'll just end up being not if you think people don't want to work. People don't want to work at these jobs. People are always trying to get. Okay, well that's what you're going to experience. So you can raise the pay up from $2 to $200. Now you're just paying $200 and Lenny's still late. See, that's what you understand when you start understanding. You realize, like, wow, yeah, it's good to pay. Yeah, why wouldn't I pay people well? I get paid well. See, I tell people all the time, I'm not here to be a good person. I don't care nothing about it. I'm not here to be Nelson Mandela. I'm not here to be Martin Luther King. I'm not trying to be some kind of good person. That ain't never done nothing for me. It never worked for me. Just trying to be that. To me, being a good person is a byproduct of knowing who you are. It is an automatic outcome. When you know your I am and that the earth is yours and the fullness thereof, when you know that everything you set your hand to prospers, when you know that you have the victory in all things, when you know you're okay, it's easy to be a good person because I don't have to mistreat anybody to get anything. I don't have to lie to you. I don't have to steal from you. I don't have to mistreat you. I don't have to gossip about you or backbite you. I don't have to talk crazy to you. I don't have to talk crazy about you. I don't have to mistreat you, disrespect you, because I am okay. I'm okay because I am okay. I tell myself I am okay. So I don't need to do anything to you to be okay, for me to be okay. So then being a good person is easy. It's a natural byproduct of my own comfort, of my own peace of mind, of my own awareness of being. A lot of people are out there trying to be good people and they're suffering. And it is an unsustainable model. Oh, look what I did for so-and-so and look what they did. Look what I did for so-and-so and look what they did. Look what I did for... Well, are you? Well, then who would you do it for? Well, I did it for them. Well, that was your mistake in the first place. Because if they don't say thank you, you mad. If they don't appreciate it, you mad. If they don't recognize it, you mad. So who did you do this for? Well, it was for them. Well, did they get what you wanted? Yeah. Well, then what you still mad about? Oh, because you said it was for them, but now you're really realizing it was for you. You did these things because of how you wanted to feel about yourself when you did them. You wanted to be a good dad. You wanted to be a good mom. You wanted to be. So if it's about you and you got what you wanted because you did what you wanted, then it's always good. Because you got what you wanted. You were who you wanted to be. And that's all you can be is you. So if you did what you wanted and you got what you, then you can't lose. You can't lose. But when you start making it about other people, that's when you start losing. Because then you feel the need to control them. Then you feel the need to try to do this to them and do that to them. Then you think you're going to bribe them, motivate them, incentivize them. So then you start raising the pay for them to get there on time. And then now they got more money and still late. Then you fire this person, next person come in, does the same thing, they're still late. Then you change locations because nobody knows where your business is and still nobody comes. Your business is just a physical expression of you. Your body is a physical expression of you. Your relationships, your money, they're just physical expressions of you. And if you don't change you or you don't choose you, if you don't know who you are, it'll never make sense to you. And you'll always be trying to change the effect with an effect. You'll be out there swinging on people in the parking lot. You'll be out there crying on the phone to people. You'll be right. Because you feel like, well, I don't like this thing. So I think I got to do something about it. Yeah, but you're not actually doing anything about it. You're not doing anything about it. This is doing. That's why we're here. This is doing. This is what makes places like this different from other places, because everybody else will tell you this is doing. No, this is doing. This is where it's done. This is where it's happening. This is like, ta-da. That's what this is. Ta-da. Your body is a physical thing, right? What is your body? Your body's a physical thing, but what is it? It's a physical thing. You can hit it. Physical thing. What is your body? Okay. So what is your body? Okay. So okay. Vehicle, temporary. So that means all things are. So what is your body? Physical expression? Yeah. Of what? A physical expression. What does that mean? Of what? What is your body? Black. It is the word made flesh. It is your awareness physically expressed. It is the word made flesh. Flesh, word, consciousness. Consciousness produces words. Words produce flesh, physical outcomes. Word meaning your awareness activated now. Okay, I have an idea. Great. But it doesn't matter if I don't agree to it. I want to go to the store. Yeah, I do. Do I want to go right now? Nah. I still have the idea, but there's no word to make flesh. I'm not going. I want to go to the store. Yeah, I want to go. That's the word made flesh. An idea that I now say yes to, that I'm activating, made flesh. Your body is the word made flesh. So what did you say your body was? Temporary, a vehicle? Well, then guess what your business is? Same thing. It's the word made flesh. It's vehicle, it's temporary, it's whatever the idea says it is. You had an idea for bait. You had an idea for the other one, for the liquid thing. Leanne has an idea painting houses. Latoya has an idea working with parents. Your idea, you call your idea a business. You call your business a real living thing as far as, right? Like you have paperwork and you have an EIN, you have all these different things. But where did all that stuff come from? First, an idea. So how could it be different, any different than your idea? In creation or in maintenance? That's why you can want to grow your business all the time. You can't grow your business if you don't grow your mind first. You can't hold it. It's not sustainable. That's why when people talk about mindset all the time, most people, it's not, your business is not bad. Your body's not bad. Your business and your body are the physical reflection. They are the word made flesh. Your flesh, word, consciousness. Your business is your body physically. Your body is your business physically. The physical things are consciousness. They are created by consciousness. That's why when people talk about mindset, which I explained to you guys what that was a couple weeks ago. Go back and watch the video, right? It's right. It's what you're thinking, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, right? That create, control, and change your physical expression. Your body, your business, your money, your relationships, all physical things are guided and governed by the law. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, what you're telling yourself, who you think you are, and what that means to you, what you tell yourself. So when people, a lot of business people that I work with, they don't have a business problem, they have a personal problem. They don't realize that. They have a personal problem. They don't have a business problem, they have a personal problem that's affecting their business. They don't have a personal problem. You don't have a business problem, you have a personal problem. Until you identify your personal problem, what you're thinking, how you're thinking, those are things that are making you do what you do, not what you don't, and making you get what you get or not what you want. And people never stop to think about themselves. Like, well, wait a minute, what am I thinking? How am I? They say, well, I'm going to work more hours. Well, I'm going to fire this person and hire 2 more people. And then but you just go around and around and around and around, and you never solve anything. You're just switching things out. You're just replacing. You're not stacking. You just keep pulling from the bottom. So all you're doing is replacing. You're not rising. You're just replacing the bottom. You're not growing. You just keep replacing the parts on the bottom. And you can't stack anything up high enough to see any difference. In your business, in your health, in your money, in your relationships, you just keep replacing one thought with another thought that's just as mediocre, just as mid or poor. Right? Yeah, I tell people that I work with all the time that, it's like, when people are talking to me about their business problems, I'm not even listening to that. I'm listening to them as a person, because that's where the answer is. It's in there somewhere. Now it's expressed in your business, right? It's expressed. Your business is just a symptom. Your body is just a symptom. It's the expression of an awareness. It's just the symptom. That's where you see the problem. That's what your body's for. It's an expression. It's a vehicle, and it's temporary. Well, who created the thing? You. Who bought the vehicle? You. Who drives the vehicle? You. Can't be all you and not you. So when you're talking to me about your business or about your health or about I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm looking at you. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm looking at you. I'm like, yeah, right on, yeah. Because I know the answer's over here. It's not where you think it is. It's being expressed over here, so you think it's here. But this is just the outcome. If we keep playing with the outcome, it's not going to change anything. We got to play with the income. We got to play with this is starting with the creation aspect of it. That's where this change. Once I change this, it's changed automatically. You want your business to change? Change here. Start telling yourself, what do you want your business? You want to make 10,000 a month? You want to make, okay, you're making You're Marlon, you're making 100,000 a week. Okay, I want to make 250 a week. Okay, now I'm making 250 a week. I make 250 a week, period, without fail. Let there be light. There was no discussion. There was no vote. There was no democracy. Let there be light, period. That's correct, period. I make 250 a week. Well, how are you going to do that? I don't know. But the answer's in the identity. The answer is in the identity. You keep trying to get an answer for something you don't identify with. That's like trying to get money out of an account you don't have an ID with. The answer is in the identity. Write that down. Make a t-shirt. I won't even sue you, I promise. You can make your own t-shirt. The answer is in the identity. When you identify yourself as making 250, when you identify yourself that all your employees come on time, when you identify yourself as your desire, the answer unfolds because now you're the person who can see it. You're the person who can have that experience. The answer's in the identity. But because we don't have an answer before we start, we're unwilling to assume the identity and we get nothing. We remain as the identity we're already assuming. So you think it's hard to change, it's harder to stay the same. The answer is in the identity. All right. Questions, comments, anything like that before I let you go? Nothing?
You left everyone like, oh.
All right. Well, that's good.
Well, they say if you do a great job teaching, usually there are no questions.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, that's wonderful. So I won't continue to saturate it. I'll let it just sit there and let it soak in for everybody. Saturday is wonderful. Thank you all for coming. It's always a pleasure to see you all. Vanessa, anything you want to say before we let them get out on time?
Yeah, we're actually gonna get out on time. Look at that. So, yeah, just thank you everyone for showing up to the Mentality Club. We do this every Saturday, and everyone's welcome to come. Tell a friend. And if today resonated with you and or it challenged you, it pushed you, Coach Lucky has the youth circle, and in the youth circle, there's a few of us who meet in a smaller group. We meet Tuesdays, we meet Fridays, and then you get a one-on-one with Coach Lucky. So if you're interested in that, I'll invite you and I'll add that link in the chat. And yeah, we hope to see you guys next Saturday. Slide through.
There you go. All right, everyone. Hey, happy Saturday. We practice. Go out there and play. Put into use as much as you could, as much as you understand. That's it. Be a doer of the word, not a hearer only. Right? Put it into use as much as you can. You don't have to overdo it. It's for you. But as much as you can understand, put it into use. Test it and see. This is not something to come and just hear something good and walk away. This is not something just to be like, oh, that was good. And then back to the regularly scheduled program. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right? Put into practice as much as you can understand. If you don't understand it or you don't agree with it or it's not for you right now, that's okay. But as much as that is for you, as much as you can understand, as much as you can put it into practice, you'll see. Once you see, you'll be talking like me. You'll be talking that talk because you have experience and you're learning. You're like, no, it's true because you have experiences, not just theory, experiences that say, hey, everything is going to be okay. Or, hey, my business went from 100 a week to 250. I got proof. And sure, I didn't really do anything different. It came to me in ways I would have never thought because everything is about who you're being, right? So put into practice what you could today, as much as you can understand, and test it, prove it, right? Prove that the power and wisdom of awareness that you are and that is in your human flesh has all the ways and means to get you to express yourself any way that you're willing to say, tell yourself that you are. So happy Saturday, everyone. Thank you all for coming and see you next week.
And
Peace.
thank you.
Thank you.